My name is Barry Duncan. I write palindromes, and I'm from Somerville, Massachusetts. I write palindromes. I'm known as the master palindromist, and I always say that anything anyone can express in one direction, I can express in two directions. And I don't mean that as a boast, but that is the actual definition of what I do. I write palindromes about news stories, social issues, events, occasions, emotions. I see a headline online and I think, oh, I'll write something about that. So for me, part of the process, of course, is determining that there are words that will go in two directions, and finding the middle of the palindrome is very important to me. And at this point, I have enough range that I can write about important things and actually convey some emotion, which is somewhat difficult to do in two directions. And when you're starting out, of course, you can't put anything together that sounds like actual speech at all. So I hope I've reached a point where I can tackle some big subjects. I usually see something that suggests to me that this could go in two directions, and I'm usually looking at the middle and going out from there. With larger palindromes, of course, I'm working in a lot of different sections, but a short palindrome, I mean, many palindromes, if they're not too long, I'll just write in my head. I'll see the middle, and then it'll expand from there, and there it is. So that's an important thing. I guess what I'm always looking for is I'm always looking for words with alternating vowels and consonants, because that's money in the bank. I mean, I know that I can write something. I don't know that it'll be good, but I always know if I have that basic construction, that'll lend itself to something. In October of 2012, on October 9th, Malala Yousafzai was shot by a Taliban gunman. And like everybody else in the world, I was very concerned about her. And then she was recovering, and she was transferred to Queen Elizabeth Hospital in Birmingham, England. And I thought I really should write something about her. And the first thing I saw immediately was that the name Malala would lend itself to a palindrome and would be a great middle, because you can't even really see where the middle is if you extend from there. So that seemed like it would be something that was very natural. I had recently spoken to my friend Paul Howe, who at the time was a high school English teacher, and he told me that he had just taught Dr. King's Letter from Birmingham Jail. And I thought, well, it's Birmingham, England is different from Birmingham, but I thought that palindrome from a Birmingham hospital would be a good title for that. And so I began work on the palindrome on October 26th, just before I went to bed. And I finished it on October 27th, just before dinner. And I think that, some people think that work that takes a long time is better, or work that's written instantly is better, and I work very quickly, and so sometimes things come to me almost in their complete form. But this one is a very special one in my work, and I always say that I've never, it's the only palindrome I've ever written. Indeed, it is the only palindrome I have ever seen that is truly the equal of its subject. And so it's a very important piece to me. So I had just written a palindrome in celebration of women's suffrage. And a friend of mine who saw the call for artists from the Arlington Center sent me the link and said, oh, I think you should send them your suffrage palindrome. And then I saw that one could submit as many as 3 pieces, and a friend of mine said, oh, you might submit some of your other ones. And she suggested, in fact, the 3 that I submitted: the Malala palindrome, the women's suffrage, and the Stonewall palindrome. So I thought all of those, I hoped, were in keeping with the theme and the substance of the show. And I was very pleased, as someone who writes and is text-based, that one of them was accepted for the show. And as you know, I've even written a palindrome about the show.
Yes.
I mean, I'm just always writing, but I do like to write about social issues, and now that I have enough control and range and discipline, I like to think that I could write about important subjects. When we had the reception via Zoom, and I saw the gallery space in person, of course, when I came to drop off my work, but I just thought the show looked just fabulous. I mean, really just so many different kinds of things, and so handsomely mounted, and I just feel really honored to have a piece in the show. I just think that it's a really really handsome, really profound exhibition, and I'm very grateful to be in it.